The whole child approach, and why capability matters more than a head start. Part 1 of the Whole Child series from Creative Minds Montessori. For today's parents, choosing an early childhood program can be surprisingly hard, and not because there are too few options. There are too many promises. One program leads with early reading, another with creativity, another with play or independence, and every program seems to be asking you to choose. Underneath all the comparison shopping runs a quieter fear: is my child learning fast enough, and will they fall behind? That fear is completely understandable. It is also, we would gently suggest, pointed at the wrong target. So here is a more important question than which subjects does this program cover, or how soon will my child read. Ask instead, what kind of learner is my child becoming? Because a child can memorize letters and numbers. Plenty of 3-year-olds can recite the alphabet on command. That tells you what a child knows today. It tells you almost nothing about how that child will meet the next hard, unfamiliar thing, and that is the part of learning that actually carries forward. Consider a different set of questions, the ones that rarely appear on a milestone chart. Can your child concentrate when something is difficult? Can they figure out what to do when the answer is not obvious? Can they communicate what they need? Can they manage disappointment and work with another child? Can they take care of themselves and their surroundings? And can they approach something unfamiliar with curiosity, rather than wait for an adult to supply the answers? These are quiet abilities. You will not find them on a flashcard, but teachers see them every single day. Here is the crucial point, and it is easy to miss. These abilities are not alternatives to academic learning. They are part of the foundation that meaningful academic learning is built on. A child who can concentrate, recover from frustration, and stay curious will learn to read. And that child will keep reading, keep asking, and keep going long after the flashcards are forgotten. That is the idea behind a whole child approach to early education. It does not trade academics away. It builds the ground they stand on. Whole child education does not mean choosing between academics and play, or between independence and structure, or between thinking and feeling. It rejects the menu entirely, because young children develop as integrated human beings. Watch a 4-year-old at work for 10 minutes and the connections become visible. Physical coordination shapes how confidently they handle a pencil or a pitcher. Emotional regulation decides how long they can concentrate. Language lets them say I want to turn next instead of grabbing. Social experience teaches them to collaborate. Every part of the child shows up to every activity. Pull on any one thread of a young child's development and you will find every other thread attached. Movement is attached to confidence, confidence to concentration, concentration to language, language to friendship. So a program that trains one dimension while neglecting the rest is not specializing. It is leaving most of the child out of the room. The picture here shows the idea, one ordinary activity at the center, feeding physical, cognitive, emotional, social, and practical growth all at once. That is what an integrated classroom is designed around. This diagram shows the real goal of the early years. The child tries something, stumbles, adjusts their approach, and tries again, and around the loop they go until the day it ends in I can. Notice that the stumble is not a failure. Mistakes feed the loop, they are the information the next attempt is built from. Observe, attempt, struggle, adjust, receive just enough help, try again, succeed alone. That sequence is the engine of self-directed learning. And it is exactly the cycle a child moves through when learning to button a coat or pour water. The word capability is worth sitting with, because it is quietly different from the words we usually reach for, like smart, advanced, and ahead. A capable child is not a child who already knows everything. Capability has less to do with how much a child knows, and much more to do with what the child can do when confronted with something new. Can they observe? Ask questions? Make a reasonable attempt? Persist and change their approach when something does not work? Ask for help and actually learn from the help they receive? That is the goal. A mother once told us about her daughter, midway through her first year with us, standing at the cubbies wrestling with a stuck zipper. Mom reached over to do it, and this tiny person held up one hand like a crossing guard and said, "I'm still working on it." She was 3. That sentence is what capability sounds like from inside. It is confidence earned through real effort, not praised into existence, and a child who owns 100 small victories like that walks into every new challenge differently. This distinction is becoming more important, not less. Your children will grow up surrounded by technology and increasingly capable artificial intelligence. Information is easy to obtain, answers arrive at the touch of a screen. What grows scarcer and more valuable is knowing what question to ask, whether an answer actually makes sense, how to investigate something unfamiliar, how to communicate an idea, and what to do when the first attempt fails. A child who learns to read has acquired a skill. A child who learns how to learn has acquired something much broader. These capacities do not suddenly appear in adolescence. Their foundations begin remarkably early, in the preschool years, in classrooms and kitchens, in moments that look deceptively small. Habits of attention, persistence, and self-regulation formed now carry forward for a very long time. This video opens a series of 14 parts, moving from pouring water all the way to preparing children for a world shaped by AI. Piece by piece, it unpacks how ordinary early childhood, done thoughtfully, builds an extraordinary learner. So the one question to carry out of this video is the one behind every brochure, not how much does my child know, but what kind of learner is my child becoming? Read the full guide, and the whole 14-part series, at creativemindsmontessori.com/parenting. And if you're in Frisco, come see our classrooms in person.